For my interview with a minority or underrepresented musician, I interviewed my friend Justine. We met in college, our sophomore years. We weren't familiar with each other our freshman year, and we got to know each other throughout taking education courses sophomore year and junior year. And then our senior year, we ended up playing in several chamber groups together, a quintet, a sextet, and then we also did a couple of duets on our own. Justine is an African American woman, and I actually learned a lot about her life as a student in college with me, as a music education student, and what that has entailed and how that's affected her life since graduating. When we met, she was in the same degree program that I was, which was music education and performance. And our junior year, I remember talking to her during one of our education classes about how she just didn't feel that drive and that passion. She knew that she wanted to be in music. She knew she wanted to do some educational things, but she really didn't picture herself in a classroom. Through doing the interview, I brought that up and asked her about that, what made that decision for her, how she came about doing that, and who she talked to about that decision when she made that for herself. And I was so intrigued to find out that she went to one of our professors who was very understanding and said, if it's not for you, then don't do it. She went to another professor to just get some more feedback and backup in her decision, because she knew it was the right one and she just wanted to talk through it with more people she trusted. And she was told, we need more people like you in the world of education. She knew that meant that her label as an African American woman meant that she was needed in the music education world. And that really struck her, and I never knew that happened to her, so it really struck me as well to hear that. And now she lives in New York City, and she is an arts administrator position with the Metropolitan Opera, and it's her third position in an arts administration area. She helps plan galas and events and things like that. And I asked her if she feels underrepresented in that field. And I was also surprised to find that she is one of 2 minorities out of a 50-person department. And so it was really interesting to me. I never knew that. I've kept in touch with her over the last few years, and it was just really interesting to hear from her those things that she shared. Just from what I viewed, she has this amazing life in New York City. She works at these great, amazing music halls. She meets so many wonderful professional musicians and artists, and it was just something I had never really known. And so it really opened my eyes up to, oh my goodness, this is not someone who, when I met her, I said, this is a minority, this is an underrepresented person. And it was very eye-opening for me to hear that from her, because even she said when I was talking with her, she never felt underrepresented or that she was a minority growing up. She was middle class, but more affluential middle class. And so she never really realized these things until she started getting older. So it was a really interesting interview, and it really made me feel much closer to a good friend of mine. Things that I never knew about her, things I never knew she went through, and it was a nice conversation to have. And I'm really excited to write all about the other things that I found out, the things that I can't fit into a 5-minute conversation. But I really enjoyed doing the interview. It took me a while to rack my brain about who I would interview and why I would interview that person. And to be able to just talk to Justine and catch up, but also learn from her, was a really great experience for me. And I'm so glad that I took the time to talk with her and just learn a little bit more about a friend of mine in a different perspective.